Hi, this is Aaron Russell, head coach of your Richmond Spiders women's basketball team, and you are watching the Legacy Maker Sports Network.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network. Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk, Season 5, Episode 4, with your host, Joe Dillard Jr. This week's special guest, Maurice Pierce, Hampton University Director of Track and Field.
Welcome to Commonwealth Sports Talk. I'm your host, Joe Dillard, bringing you another episode as we have Season 5, Episode 4. As we bring you Maurice Pierce, Hampton University Director of Track and Field. How you doing, Coach?
Good morning, man. I'm doing fine. Everything is well.
Another day in the grind. I see you in the grind factory. They're ready to work, huh?
Man, I'm in the grind factory. I grind every day.
Every day.
So it's like, listen, people see me in the office with the door shut at 9 o'clock grinding.
Hey, man, ain't nothing better than that. I mean, we talking over 30 years of a track life, so you know what it takes to produce. So if it's a full year grind, take me through that, man. How essential is it for off-season work? Because see, people always look at the results, the numbers, the fame. Talk to me about that off-season workout and how essential it is for an athlete.
You know what? I was talking to my assistant coaches the other day, and one of them is new.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a whole year now, but he started in September. So he didn't know the summer grind. Mm. And he said, Coach P, he said, man, what we do in the summertime is makes us more tired. It's more work than when we're in season. And I was like, yeah, man, the grind is in the summer, because the summer you got to prepare for the fall. The fall, you got to prepare for the season. But the nuts and bolts of it is the summertime, because we finalized some recruiting, and at the same time still trying to recruit some gyms that's sitting out there.
Yeah.
But we are preparing. So we got to do budgets. We got to do strategic planning. We got to get through summer school. We got to order equipment. Man, so much stuff that goes on in the month of July to prepare kids to come back in August. It's unreal.
And that's some of that director title that you're hosting, finagling and pulling the string on everything from recruiting, training, to preparation for the upcoming year. Talk to me about that role. Is that something you foresee yourself doing from the past, or you kind of walked into it like director of track and field? Take me through that.
Well, you know what? For so long, I was just the women's coach.
Yeah.
But I had my hand involved with the let me turn this camera.
Fine.
All right. Can you see?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. For so long, but I coached the women for a long time. But for so long also I had my foot on the other side of the track helping with the men. Mm-hmm. I always helped with the men's sprinters. And I always had great professional men sprinters and hurdlers.
Mm-hmm.
And so during my time here in Hampton, we had an abundance of success on the women's side. Yes. And unfortunately, the men's team had kind of like a revolving door of head coaches. They went through a period where they might have had like 4 head coaches in like an 8-year period or something. Mm. So it was kind of crazy. So the university always thought about combining the program, but they couldn't never logistically put it together. Mm-hmm. And I was satisfied coaching the women. I was having success. So I was like, I don't need a double headache. So, so
Yeah. People
they
know
put
about
all-
that in
Yeah.
that world.
So they put all the pieces together, and we finally was able to come to an agreement. And at that time, instead of just moving over and making it to say you the head coach, about 10 years ago, everybody had like these fancy titles. It was making people, it was like director of track and field. So I said, if you're gonna give me the fancy title, then you're gonna have to pay me for that fancy title, because that's gonna require work now. So and then most people, when they get the director title, they're either like transitioning to administration, or they're on their way out to retirement or something. You don't really sign a young person with the title of director.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I took it and we ran with it, and I think we had some success with it. But I like it. To answer your question, I like it because I've always seen myself as a director, and I think I have good leadership skills. And so probably I'll take this director of the program and probably one day try to be the director of athletics.
That's how that transitions. I like that, because what most people don't realize is collegiate sports is a job. And so it's one thing to have that as a job, but with track, it's just a little bit different. There really technically is no off season.
No.
I mean, we talking about this summer, and yeah, that's cool. But when we come back in August for school, cross country season starts, and your director starts already. So you go from cross country to indoor to outdoor. And so that's 3 different coaches in some programs. Some programs in college have 3 different coaches for each season, or they split it up so much. And so having a director of track and field, I thought was amazing, seeing that title, because you don't see that too often. When I went to Virginia State, Andre Moore, great coach. He coached the women and the men. And he had to handle that double headache you was talking about. So every program is totally different. And that director role, I just love it. I love it. So this is your 8th going on 9th year as the director. Am I correct?
Yes.
Correct.
9th year.
9th year coming up. Correct. So talk to me a little bit about that transition to the Big South. I mean, we're talking like, I don't want to use the word dominated, but you were consistently in the headline during the MEAC run with the women. I'm talking 4 cross-country titles, 12 indoor, 10 outdoor. But when it transitioned over to the Big South, how did that work for you and your athletes?
It worked out in our advantage. I'm gonna tell you why, because you're a track guy, so you know how track works.
Absolutely.
And we always had a balanced team in the MEAC. People always thought that we were just sprint heavy. Well, we were sprint heavy, but to win a championship, you got to have balance. And so the unsung heroes were the ones that helped us win the Big South when we first got there. Because we just took the formula and the program we already had in the MEAC, and we just took it straight over to the Big South. And we saw some holes that we could fill in the Big South immediately. And get a lot of points.
Absolutely.
And so we took advantage of some of the weaknesses of some of the Big South schools.
Was hurdling one of them?
Yeah.
I knew it.
So hurdling.
I'm a college hurdler, so I always got to stand out for our hurdlers.
Yeah. So hurdling was it was like an open hole. It was like an open street. So I put everybody in the hurdles.
Everybody getting it. We maxing out.
Yeah. So, but it was cool. We won the first 4 championships, men and women indoor, men and women outdoor. And then the following year, people forgot this though. The following year, which was year 2 in the Big South, we only did indoor track.
Yep.
Because remember, the pandemic came and shut the world down. But we also still came in 2nd place at the championship. We had some young ladies get hurt, but we still came in 2nd place. And I was looking forward to that outdoor season. I knew we was going to go back and win again. So then we didn't compete for a whole year.
Yes.
Remember Hampton, we didn't bring anybody back at Hampton.
Yep.
So we were stuck in the hole for a year. So I hadn't seen my team for like a year and a half. And so at this year's championship, I think we still did good. We came in 3rd again. So we won the first 4 championships. Then indoor we came in 2nd. Then we did compete for a year. Then we come back and we still finished in the top 3.
Yeah.
So we had a good little run in the I'd call it a 2.5 year run. We had a great 2.5 year run in the Big South.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So like that's the thing that most coaches don't understand. And you said I'm a track guy, so I understand, but I'll articulate a little more to the crowd. That is called filling gaps. So usually a lot of programs, districts, counties, however you want to go from high school to college, may not have a good event where it's loaded.
Yeah.
And if you find that weakness and train it and make them strong, you put 4 in there, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and take almost 30 points. And so, you know, hurdling is a great example where a lot of kids, and I'm going to double down and go to high school, where high schoolers do not want to try hurdling. So when you can prove that you're a hurdling program, then you're taking 5, 6 to the districts, and other teams only have 1 or 2. So, you know, I definitely understand finding your niche within the conference. And so that was key and big. Yeah. Talk to me about some of the consistency that has been produced over 20 years with you. I mean, I'm talking about, man, like, you're just a modeled citizen in the track and field world. You stayed relevant every time you had a chance. You make the most of it. Talk to me about how consistency has been so key for you.
Well, you know, that's all I know. You know, we pride ourselves on being like the best. No, but I always said, once you got a consistent program, that even in a rough year, you'll finish on the podium. You'll finish in the top 3. And so our consistency was that we had a standard, and we still got the same standard. That it's a standard of excellence. We piggyback on the university's model, standard of excellence. And so everybody we recruit, everybody's on my coaching staff understand that you're walking into a situation where the standard is extremely, extremely high. The expectation is not so high that you can't reach it, but the standard is extremely high.
Absolutely.
And so we live by that standard. I recruit according to that standard. I operate according to that standard. I don't waver from it. I'm getting older, but that means I got to get better. And I expect the staff to get better. So I've changed it according to like the culture of kids. Yeah. Some things you got to do, and some things I couldn't. Some things I got to do now that I didn't do when I was 10, 12 years ago. And so I just figured a new way to get some stuff done with the kids. Yeah. Because they're a little different, but you just got to work around it. But the key to it is that as long as you still have your quality standards, core values, and your discipline, and everything else to take care of itself.
I love that, Coach. Core values and discipline. And I'm telling you, man, it's taken lightly. College coach's life shelf is about 7 years. And I don't care. Sports, you know, basketball, football, track, any of them. Lifespan is 7 years max. And that's having a great 7 years. So to double it and to continue going, you know, kudos to you and big shout out to you, Coach, with that. How important is it? And we talked a little bit about off season, so this may slide right into it, but how important is it to catch the process of peaking with an athlete, like catching the athlete's peak time and having it happen around championship time or national time instead of it happening early? How do you manage trying to control the peak periods of your athletes?
Well, you know, we've had a consistent over the years and things that we do in our fall training. We train in the fall. I think our fall training is probably harder than in-season training. So we really go to war, and there's a whole lot of battling the scars during the fall time to be able to set our team up to peak at the championship and at the postseason. And so we also continue to train hard through the indoor season.
Absolutely.
Like we don't back off. We got to back off sometime for like hurdlers and people that run the 60. But everybody else, we still grinding, hitting it hard. So kind of like we go through a hard fall training, but we also go through a hard winter season.
Makes sense.
To put us in a situation where we peaking right at the right time. And usually the right time is championship season. The cream of the crop going to run fast on the weekends. Correct. You know, the talented ones going to roll. So we know that. And, you know, and we don't look at it as like, you know, this person's running too fast. No, that's their talent level just showing up. But we just, on Monday, we're going to go back in the garage and keep on loading up. You know? Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to keep on loading up. And, you know, also because we do it that way, those underdeveloped kids and the ones that we're developing, they show up at the right time too. Yes. Their talent level matches everybody else's talent level at the championship. And it also protects us from a whole lot of injuries. Because we continue to load up in the weight room. We do a whole lot of heel work. not unconditional stuff, old school stuff. We do a lot of hill work, a lot of sled pull. We do a whole lot of weightlifting.
Yes.
And we do, our sprinters, they run 400, they run 4x4s. So, I do stuff to keep, to make sure sprinters and hurdlers continue to stay healthy. Because I don't have to be the fastest team on the weekend. I just got to be the fastest. Hold on.
You're good.
Okay. I don't have to be the fastest team on the weekend. I just need to be the fastest team at the championship.
Correct. And that's exactly where I was going about the process of peaking, because you said it. Sprinters going to sprint, or the Blazers are going to be there on the weekend.
Yeah.
But to bring everybody together and peak at championship day weekend, that's essential. And you said it. A rough year is third. And I'm only quoting you, in a rough year is third. So if we go back, this past year after a pandemic, that was considered a rough year. So you want to have that drive coming in this off-season, summer, fall training. So I'm catching you right in the middle of this peak, or not peak per se, but this grind, getting ready for this upcoming season. So talk to me about, do you think that the drive is just as desired now, 20-something years later, than it was back when you first started? I know you said you have to be better. Better's good, but the drive, do you feel that you wake up getting ready for that drive every day? Like, how do you carry yourself? Well,
two parts to that. Yes and no. Because for one time I was driving. I was hard. I was going. And then when the university started realignment and moving and talking about going to other conferences, and you gotta the drive, you gotta be it goes into neutral a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you say, wait a minute, I don't want to keep just hitting this accelerator and getting these kids ready, or recruiting a certain type of kid. Whereas I need another type of kid in the new conference. And so for the last 4 years, and even our last year in the MEAC, because it was already talk that we was leaving. We didn't get complacent, but I think we got a little comfortable in that one year, and we were still successful, but the drive wasn't there, and the drive was just on neutral the last 2-3 years. So now we've downshifted. We back on the drive. We went from 4th to 5th gear. So the drive, I'm reinventing myself. I'm driving back in the fast lane. And we gonna hit it hard.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love that. See, and that's the thing. They say it in this manner where everybody understands. Negativity or criticism or media viewpoint always gives that star athlete their drive, their reason, their being. But if you are self-inflicted with that, if you can find a reason to evaluate yourself and then re-hit the board, because as you said, it didn't hit you upside the head. You knew years walking in that you was going to have to reinvent yourself. And a lot of people don't do that when they've had success and haven't had to, you know what I mean? You have success, why change it? And so I commend you for continuing to evolve and be relatable to the kids these days, because that's usually why a coach finishes his tenure. He just gotta have the heartbeat of the program. And if you don't have the heartbeat of the program, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of hot seat situations. So man, business as usual. That's what I said. I wrote that down with you. I said business as usual. This is what I've got from this guy. Like every day is business. So so what was the Pan Am Junior Olympics? Talk to me about that experience for you on a personal level. Like how or let me rewind that. I want you to mention that as well, but tell me, when did you say, wow, this track world has really opened up everything for me? Like, when did that really initially hit for you?
Well, it happened way back in 2000 when James Carter made the Olympic team in the 400-meter hurdles.
James, yes, sir.
And James made the team. And I was already familiar with big-time athletics and world-class athletes, because I came through an era at Norfolk State in the late 90s when we had an abundance of world-class sprinters come through there. And they were all my friends. And so I was starting to get the itch and the awareness of how this professional thing really worked and opened up some doors. So then I got a hold of James by default my first year here at Hampton. And so when James made the team, it's like move from one neighborhood to another neighborhood. You didn't know these nice neighborhoods existed.
Exactly.
So,
they got double gated communities. They got
double gated
got a gate to get in and a gate to get to the next neighborhood.
Yeah, they got real bicycles.
Yeah, that's a whole different speed, ain't it?
And so James Carter opened the door, and the world just opened up, and he just kept having success.
Mm-hmm.
And then just right after that, I just started picking up more people, more athletes who wanted to come train with me. And every professional athlete that I've ever had, they've either made the Olympic or World Championship team. And on those two teams, either they came back with a medal or they made the finals.
Yes.
Right. So now what happens is I was grinding real hard trying to get this gold medal or silver medal individually. So then USA Track and Field started saying, look, man, you need to be on some of these national teams. So I said, okay, but I don't want this to interrupt the ultimate goal. I got to get this kid on the podium. They was like, nah, we can work it out. We'll start you off a small team, so it won't interrupt you going to Europe and doing stuff with these other people. So the Junior Pan Am thing worked itself out perfect. Mm-hmm. It gave me a sense of I could make the decision whether or not I wanted to continue being on national staffs.
Nice.
And I liked it, and it was good that I started off on the juniors because it gave me an opportunity to understand how they operate and how those young world-class kids, they were still kids, but they were phenomenal athletes, but just to see how they operate and how they moved around.
What age group did you have so that those can know what the junior?
The junior team is anybody under 18.
Correct. I just had to let it be said because you can have a 5-year-old out there. You can have a 4-year-old out there as long as they're equipped to do what's necessary. Yeah. You're going to be coaching a 4-year-old running. And one of my college track teammates, his son is 4 years old, and he just went down to Florida and made it to the finals in the 100. So my mind is blown for stuff like that. That's why I saw when you had Pan Olympics with the juniors, I'm like, you had to get some joy out of doing that on top of it being a national stage. Like that's the win-win right there. You get the
it was fun
and a national stage.
It was fun, and then they gave me the NACAC staff, North America, Central America national team, and I was the head coach on that 2 times, and then I was the assistant coach on the World Championship team in 2017 and 2019, and so. Those opportunities are like
priceless.
They're priceless. It's like any other thing. It's like being on the USA basketball staff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it sets you apart of the upper echelons of the coaching world. People look at you different, and you get honored a whole lot. And it's a great respectability thing. And not a lot of people get to that level. And I'm just going to try to see if I can keep it going, try to get on the next Olympic staff or be the next World Championship head coach.
Absolutely.
But I really do enjoy it.
That's half the battle.
Yeah, and I've had some opportunities to be on a national staff of some some foreign teams, some foreign countries.
Nice.
But I decided to back off, but I still coach the athletes. But I didn't want to. Well, see, once you join a foreign national staff, it takes you like 2 or 3 year gap years to come back and be on the USA staff.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to interrupt all of that.
Oh, that's very smart.
Yeah.
That's very smart, Coach. Like I'm sitting here in awe listening to it, and I'm like, you have yourself in a driver's seat position, and you still find yourself hungry for more. Like I really love that approach. So I had the similar situation running at Virginia State, as you're familiar. We're coming in. So I ran Virginia State for 4 years, and then this is like one of them grind your gear moments. We came in second in the CIAA all 4 years. Mm-hmm. I think you know why. Because we faced St. Aug.
Yeah, the Aug, baby.
Coached by a USA Track and Field coach.
Yeah.
And I'm 19, 20. We're young. And in the back of my mind, all this is like formulating. And I'm like, how in the HE double hockey sticks are we going against a USA track coach in Division 2? It just started to mount. And I'm like, man. And so my sophomore year, he was coach was great. But sophomore year, I ran against 21 and probably 22-year-old freshmen from,
Yeah.
from
Ain't no
across
problem.
the
You
country
did.
because he's got access to everything. And I'm like, what? This is a freshman. As soon as you think you won something, not coming seventh at conference, I'm like, oh, all conference, that's great. But 3 just graduated. I should be great now. And then we bring 3 freshmen in, that's like 21, 22, and 20. I'm like,
Can't win.
That network is real. That's what I wanted to say by
that network is real. And let me tell you something. Coaches take advantage of that network.
You're supposed to, man. You're supposed to. Because
yeah,
if you don't get the results, everybody above you is going to use that. So, you'd be a fool not to.
Yeah, ain't no question.
Absolutely. So when did it all start for you? I'm going to run you back, see if the memory bank working. Did you run in middle school, high school? Like, when did you start running official? Was it at Warwick High School? When did you start running? I'm curious.
I started running in the a little bit in the 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like by default. We had in Newport News, they never had middle school sports.
Correct.
We always
had
had
soon, by the way, but
yeah. And I told somebody I would help them with it. But we always had outstanding rec league sports.
Absolutely.
I was a rec league football guy. That's all I wanted to do. And I was already fast. And so they had this guy, he said, man, we got a middle school team. You need to run track. And I was like, man, I'm not running no track. That's for slow people. I'm already fast. That's
Coach,
my
that's
brain
a great
was
answer for a kid.
Hey, the guy was a kid.
He said, I'm already fast. I don't need no track.
Yeah, that's for slow people. I don't need that. When you get some fast people, let me know. So then all my boys, he said, I know how to get him. So he got all my boys, and they was like, they're going to form this little team and stuff. They was like, man, come to practice, check all this stuff out. I said, man, listen, I'm going to ride this bike all over Newport News when I get out of school, man. I ain't running no track. And so it just happened by default. I ended up going to practice one time. I liked it. I seen all these little girls out there, to be honest with you. I was like, Coach, when the next time y'all got practice?
The boys don't get it. They don't get it until they know.
So I was locked in ever since. And so I did that. And then in 8th grade, a man was like, yo, man, you can run high school. You can run JV track. And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, you can do that. I said, okay, I'll do that then. So I ran in the 8th grade. And because in 8th grade, you can play JV football or JV track. And I was like, listen, man, okay, I'll do the track thing one more year. And then I'll just continue to try to be a rec league superstar with football. I ain't putting on the pads at Warwick High School yet until I have to. so anyway, I flirted around with it in the 8th grade. Then in 9th grade, it just took off. Football was always been my sport. But then I fell in love with track because the freedom of expression, the freedom of excitement and doing your own thing. I just fell in love with track. And in that time, Hampton Newport News in the late 80s was like a great area for track and field. I ran against some phenomenal people in high school and then on my team. So I did that all through high school with track and football. And I was a good football athlete, but I think I know what, and it's crazy. I practiced harder for track than I did for football.
I know why.
And kind of like
I'm gonna tell you why, Coach. I know why. Football, we got a helmet on, and it's 12 of us. Long as you not the guy that gets done wrong.
Yeah.
But in track, you get in them blocks and you come in 3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
There's nobody else to talk to but yourself.
No, man, I got a good reputation. I won't try to mess it up.
Coach, when you made your statement, I felt like as if I was your coach, I'd be like, son, you got to win every meet talking like that. Talking about, so I'm too fast for track, coach. I got to tell me when you get a couple of faster guys and we can come out there and do something.
Yes, I did that. I did that through high school, man. And track and football was my thing, growing up back then. Those are 2 sports everybody did. I didn't do a lot of summer track stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did the little summer track thing maybe like 2 times, and I had opportunity to run with some outstanding people. They take the best kids around here and put them on a team. But they say, we're gonna take care of the expenses, but that ain't true. You still gotta get some money, or you gotta ask your mama.
Yep.
And my mama, she won't have it.
Yep.
My
You
mama
gotta
said,
have a good plan when it comes to these extracurriculars.
Yeah, my mama said running is free. So I did a little summer track thing for like 2 summers, and then I used it really to prepare myself to get out the house, stay out of trouble,
Absolutely,
and travel a little bit and get myself ready for football season. I know I'll be in tip-top shape. And then I went to Norfolk State, and I ran track at Norfolk State for 2 years. Because I sat out my freshman year in '91, and then I ran it the next 2 years. And then I messed up my eligibility, to be honest with you. I tell everybody this. I messed up my eligibility one season. So I didn't run that year. And then by then, I'm in my 4th year in school. So I'm like, yo, man, I got like a semester. I got to get out of school. And they was like, yo, man, you got another year eligibility. I said, dog, I ain't running. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
They said, no, you want to try it again? So I said, okay, I'll try. So I tried to do indoor. And at that time, we had all these world-class sprinters that we recruited to Norfolk State back in, it's like 94, 95. And they was flying around the track, right? Yep. These were world-class guys coming out of junior college. And I was like, listen, man, I'm fast. They took it to another level. So instead of me, trying to make up for what I ain't done in a whole year and spend a whole year just chasing people around the track, I said, let me back up, man. So my man was like, yo, man, you need to run indoor, but the outdoor come on be one of the assistants. So we still pay for you to go to school. So I was student assistant in spring of 96.
Smart man.
And, right. And so he gave me a stopwatch. Then the women's track coach gave me a stopwatch. I helped her out too. So I was helping my man out on the men's side with his professional athletes during the daytime, in the morning, the men's track team in the afternoon, and the women's track team in the late afternoon.
That was from 95 to 98, right?
Yeah. So really it was 95 to 98. So in that 3-year period. And so people was like, Maurice, why didn't you finish your last year in Norfolk State? I said, man, listen, I couldn't run fast no more. So and listen, again, I've always protected my reputation. And I want people to know me when I was fast.
Yeah.
Not the new people that came in and like, man, he ain't fast. Everybody talking about how Maurice Pierce was fast. He ain't fast.
Hey, Coach, we're in a small club of guys that's got 1 year eligibility left. Yeah. We might have them dreams where you go back. You go back and use that last year of eligibility in your dream. Only dreams, guys.
Yeah, it's a dream. It don't work like that. Not in track. It don't work
like that. And I'm glad you said it that way, because my sophomore to junior year is when the light bulb clicked for me, because my degree was in sport management. And I would always say, well, we know there's no transition after this. So how do I want to transition? Yeah. And, I pulled back and started studying sports and just said, hey, I want to coach. I only want to know what angles I can approach sports from outside of the athlete perspective. So, it was that same type of realm feeling when the light bulb clicked, and I'm like, I'm having dreams of one way or the other. I either come back and I'm getting dusted, or I come back and I was like, dog, I should have been doing it, because I ran the hurdles, mind you. So the hurdles, you got a shot every year with the hurdles. It just depends on your form. Yep. And I'm like, oh man. So that's interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah, I had to figure it out, man, because so many people, like, they just keep chasing. But I've always been a realist. I've always had a plan, and I've always protected my reputation. So I said, I'm gonna get in where I can fit in. And so that's how that's how I started. That's how I went from running to coaching.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna talk about how you went from Norfolk State to Hampton, because you at least have your wife who graduated from Hampton. And so you got somebody at home that reminds you, yeah, you made the best decision right there. So I know you get picked with that, but I know it's tough to have that separation that's necessary, essentially, when you went to Norfolk State and now you're coaching at Hampton.
Listen, man, it was crazy, because I'm a diehard Spartan. Right. Right. All right. Listen, I'm a Spartan all day, every day. And it was crazy that 1 year. See, that 1 year I left, I coached at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore for 1 year.
That's right.
But I had recruited so many kids to Norfolk State, right? And I coached them for maybe 1 or 2 years. Then I couldn't coach them for a year, but it was cool because I was far away. I went to Maryland, even though that's my far, but I was outside.
Up 13,
I was on the Eastern Shore.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. But then the following year, I came back home and took the job at Hampton by default. So then it became like a sticky situation because them same athletes that I recruited
are over there.
And the same people that still working at Norfolk know me. Then I become like this trader, like, Maurice, I can't believe you working at Hampton. Like, y'all ain't say nothing when I want to be Eastern Shore. They ain't care about that.
It's different.
Yeah. But when I put on that blue and white, boy, man, you might have thought I had a target on my back.
Yeah, man.
Stop speaking to me. They would tell me, you better be him. And so I had to live with that for like the first 5-6 years.
That's
right?
Your answer should have been the motto: standard of excellence.
Excellent. I was like, it's different. Hey, it's a different standard on the other side of this tunnel. Now, y'all want to pay me? Like, if y'all want to give me a check I can't turn down, I'll come back over there.
That's how half of that works too.
Yeah.
That's how half of that works. You got to talk the right lingo.
Yeah, but half of my family, I got a large percentage of my family that went to Hampton.
Yeah.
My daughter here now, I got some old aunts and uncles and relatives that went to Hampton, and I'm one of the few that became a Spartan.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, man. And it was because at the same time back then I was chasing football and football and track dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So Norfolk had a better situation where I could probably do both. Because at that time, Hampton was going through a transition when Joe Taylor was coming in here. And he took football to an extremely whole nother level back in the 90s.
Tell him
Jesus
something,
Christ.
Joe. That guy, I heard stories while I was a student at Virginia State about the great Joe Taylor. Like, there was some great stories.
Joe Taylor, he's called Joe Taylor, the monster. I pattern a lot of my structure and things that I do off from Joe Taylor. Joe Taylor had a run here at Hampton, and it was a run that I don't think nobody else will have again. It was unbelievable. He was a phenomenal guy. He was a phenomenal coach.
Great guy.
Yeah. Great guy. Phenomenal guy. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And so, taking me full circle with that, you've had the list of Olympians you've coached. You've got a list of world champions you've coached. Salute and thank you for your time, Coach, of coming on to Commonwealth Sports Talk. Like, I really am humble and grateful to have your time, and we really had some good chat, and might have to do this again.
I ain't got no problem with that, man. Just let me know if it's PM or AM.
Yeah, that's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. We got to be on the same chord. You can be right. A broken clock's right two times a day. So. It
just depends on when you look at it.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you, my man.
Anytime, man. Just let me know. Anytime you need to do something for you, talk. Just let me know.